I'm going to show you some of the Resonator guitars today and give a little description of how they got here. This is the original. It's a Tricone, the national Resophonic guitar, invented by George Beecham and John Dopyera way back in 1926. Beecham was a Hollywood musician type of guy, and the guy he went to talk to this about was John Dopyera, an Czechoslovakian immigrant who repaired violins. Came up with the idea of a louder guitar. This is tuned way down to C. It's kind of like my baritone, I guess you call it baritone guitar. With heavy strings on it. But yeah, Dopyera had invented this and came up with the louder guitar, which became a real Hawaiian special, and played by Hawaiian guitarists and in Hollywood a lot, backed in movies and things. He had a little problem with the showboat kind of antics of his cohorts. Some young millionaire had invested in the company, and they were out partying on his boat, and all this kind of stuff was just too much for this little old man, and he left the company and went on to invent something else. The second invention that John Dopyera came up with afterwards had to be different, and he got a patent for this. You can see inside there's kind of a framework of a cast aluminum. It was still made with a cone inside underneath that beautiful cover plate, and it was the Dobro. He worked then along with his brothers, and this came out in 1928. This is a very good copy of a real live thing. Archie Edwards played the same type of guitar with the same trapeze tailpiece and the fan cover plate and the same white headstock. He played blues on his guitar. The Dobro became a lap kind of guitar, like what Jerry Douglas plays, and went on to be synonymous with bluegrass music. But it has a different type of tone. The Spider Bridge Dobro style guitar. After John Dopyera and his brothers, Rudy and Emil, were working on these guitars, the Dopyera brothers, if you take an acronym of D-O-B-R-O, that was where the name Dobro came from. They invented a couple other models after that Tricone. There was the Triolian and the Duolian. They were cheaper. My particular one has a great old Barkus Berry pickup on it. Open headstock, it's a Regal. Not only like that Gretsch before, but they outsourced these things in Chicago, in the Regal factory, and also in San Francisco. But it was a single cone that was somewhat brighter and louder, although this the Triolian type of guitar. Wood body, single cone, F holes. I think this came because a violin maker was in the process of inventing and building these things. The Duolian, this one is bell brass with the Hawaiian scene on it. There's the canoe, there's the volcanoes, there's the palm trees. The Duolian was a little bit better model. brass and nickel plated, also very loud. So this time span was only from 1926 to the early 1930s, when they started making another cheaper model, as opposed to that tricone, another single cone. It's not that spider bridge, it's the same kind of cone, volcano shaped, underneath this cover plate with a wooden biscuit in there, and the bridge you can see probably made out of a maple or some nice wood that translates that sound, bridge going across, touching that cone, making a nice loud noise. A lot of these companies were interrelated back in the day. Dobro was with Valco and Supro. This is one of the headstocks that came from those days. I had a Dobro Valpro years ago that was out of the same design, making one of these. This has a rubber grommet around it, although it's a chambered wood. Originally it was made out of 2 pieces of fiberglass, and that was the airline, the Supro, and this is called a Folkstar. It's going to be electrified or played. So even Semi Mosley from Mosrite owned the company for a while, and they had made a few different models of this, of which I'll show you pictures, but they were all on the same principle of the spun aluminum cone underneath that cover plate, and the bridge and tailpiece that the strings go across, playing, making louder sounds. Beautiful guitar. Look at how it can reflect, and you can see things around. But resonator guitars, one of my favorite things.